since I haven't really gotten a chance to look at the stuff yet, I don't have a whole lot of questions. I do plan on starting on Tuesday, I think, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mm. So I'm gonna go through all of it tomorrow at some point and look through everything. I guess the only things I really have a question about is all the workouts will go through here and then, or does everything go through here, or does like do I do this? Do I log this stuff somewhere other than this app?
No, you can log everything in the Train Heroic app, like all your workouts and stuff can go in there. It's a really cool app for all the training stuff. The coursework and the description on how to do the nutrition stuff, the macros, prescriptions, like all that is in the network under the coursework. So you can start watching those videos and start reading through some of that stuff, and that is where you'll get all that information. I wish I had one app that could do it all, but I do not, sadly.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, whatever questions you run into, like I said, you can message me on either one of those and I check them regularly. I'm trying to think for you, just getting into the workouts are pretty basic. I don't think you're going to have any issues with those. They're good, but they're very straightforward. There's not a whole lot of frills to it. So you're not going to be messing around with a ton of Olympic weightlifting or anything like that. It's all just like very effective, straightforward. I removed all of the stuff that I didn't feel like was going to really move the needle for people in like a short time span. So and you'll see that you can log on to it right now and take a look at it and see that it's a real basic but like effective program. And depending on the intensity of how what your workouts have been like, you might start slowly where you're not like starting Tuesday, you might not want to drop the hammer on 3 straight days of 10 out of 10 intensity. You might want to ease into it. So you're
Hmm.
not so wrecked starting the following week that you're like, dude, I can't fucking move. Uh,
Yeah.
so, so just remember it's the idea of accumulating overall volume, not just like 3, 4 days of really high intensity, so high that we have to take 4 or 5 days off because then it
Yeah.
creates this imbalance where we're actually off more than we're on and we need to accumulate volume. So just keep that in mind as far as just gauging the intensity of things. If you're so sore that you're crushed and can't move, that's probably too much.
Hmm.
So just keep that in.
On these circuits where I'm just looking at different workouts on here, and when it says run 200 slash row 250, is that or both?
That's or yeah,
Okay.
not both. You'll be there all day,
Yeah.
especially if it's in a warm up. If it's in a warm up too, like the warm up circuits are just warm up circuits. They don't have the
Okay.
again intensity like 5 out of 10, not like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And then
Cool.
as you get through, so you as if you look at a session, right, the intensity will start low and it'll build and it'll like peak towards the end. So just kind of keep that in mind as far as like where to put the effort and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, that's pretty straightforward and basic. I don't think you'll have too many issues with that. I think for you, it's going to be like really get into the nutrition parts of things, making sure you watch at least most of those videos on the nutrition stuff. There was one that I did, it's I think 12 or 15 minutes long, I think, where it's like a shopping trip that I took to Costco with my kids and I recorded that like everything that I get. And
Hmm.
that'd be a really good one just to look through and at least kind of watch most of it. And then at the end, I do a rundown where it shows the whole score and everything that I snagged. I think that'll be really good for you. And then just piecing together, like, all right, here's what we need to eat, here's how much we need to eat, and here's where we need to place our meals. I think you're going to get a whole lot of benefit out of just that information alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think not even the workout part's going to be hard for me, which I don't hardly work out at all, so it'll be challenging, obviously, but just like the nutrition stuff is, I think, my whole point in doing all of this. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the workouts, man, even if you're not working out, I don't think you're going to have a huge issue with it. But if that's the case, like I said, just make sure you start like easing into it. Don't go a million miles an hour. But like Arnold says, abs are made in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really get into that nutrition stuff. So basic, like where to start with that is just making sure that you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and then figuring out having an idea of where your total number should be. So you're looking at total protein and total calories. And then from there, you look at where you're at currently. So this week, you get an idea of where you should be and then compare that to where you actually are. So it's almost like just taking a baseline. So you're shooting for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And then the rest of it this week, just let the chips fall a little bit. Don't freak out if you're not like exactly where you should be, because you'll probably find that you're actually a little low. So you'll probably be a little low calorie, a little low protein. And you might be like, damn, I don't know if I can eat this much food. And that's totally okay. And then we can like reverse diet our way through that. That's what happens most times. Now you could be totally different, but yeah. So bottom line is we just got to find out where you're at and then compare it to where we should be, and then just go from there and then build or cut.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sounds a lot simpler than it probably is, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It is super simple. But you ever listen to Jocko Willink?
sometimes. I'm not
So
like religiously, but I see clips.
he's got some really good stuff that he says about stuff being like, hey, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy.
Mm.
That's one of his tenets in extreme ownership is simple, right? He's got a whole chapter on it, and it is simple. We just got to find out where we're at and see where we need to go. And it's pretty fucking simple, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's easy. The hardest thing is going to be applying it to day-to-day activity and movement. So that's always the thing. I think we talked about that a little bit. Is it a belief issue? Is it a knowledge issue? Or is it a schedule and application issue? It's almost exclusively belief and some belief issues with most people, and then like a ton of application and routine problems. So we just need to put it into routine.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where to start for nutrition. Workouts just get moving, and then the last piece of it is just there's the 9 kind of like daily discipline factors that are involved in this too, and really it's just picking out 3 of those. So you'll see that in the, you know what, let me see if I can pull it up. Stand by. All right, here we go. You got my screen.
It still says started screen sharing, so probably in a second. Yeah, there you go.
Man, this thing is on such a lag, it's annoying. Okay, there we go. All right, you got it. You can see that.
So yeah, the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is in the network. You'll be able to pull this up. All you got to do is I can do a whole video on how to do it, but all you got to do is go file, make a copy, and then rename it whatever you want. And then if you want to share that with me, there you go, make a copy, blah, blah, blah. And then you just make a copy of the Google Doc and you have your own. If you want to share it with me so I can access your macros and stuff, like that's totally fine. You can do that, or you can just message them by daily discipline tracker. And these are all kind of factors that I've looked through and been like, these are things that we really should be doing. Getting to bed on time. The heroic minute is the first minute of your day. That is just one stole from Matthew Kelly. He's an author, like a self-help type author. And he calls you have in his book Resisting Happiness, you have 1 minute to get out of bed once your alarm goes off. That's your heroic minute. So if you fail that, you fail the first test of the day. So I stole that. Plus the branding works really good for heroic industry. I snaked it, but I tried to give him
Yeah.
credit. So anyway, first minute of the day, you get up, you get your feet on the floor, you got 60 seconds to do it, and it literally changes the direction of your day, like right there. You get a win right away. 10 minutes of meditation. Meditation can be different for everybody. That's not something we spend a whole lot of time on, but if you want to sit and be still, you can do that. If you want to, I combine some of these things to be honest. Like I do cold daily, or pretty close to every day, and I'll use that as my meditation. So I'll do 5 minutes of like silence, followed by 3 minutes of cold, and that's I combine those two like back to back. You can kind of do that however you want, fully up to you. Meditation is kind of individual with that. Some people really have good success with just doing the classic sit and be still meditation, and other people have different things that they do. Either way, it's just focusing before you get moving. 2 workouts a day, One of them is the one that is in Train Heroic. The other one can be literally whatever you want. Like I typically try to get 10 to 20 minutes of walking at a brisk pace, and that'll count as my second workout because I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing like 87 workouts and going to the gym twice a day. I can't do that anymore. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
10 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes of brisk walking, 10 minutes of push-ups and sit-ups, like whatever you want to do. Usually calisthenics or something like that is good enough. But one hard workout with weights and then one workout just getting extra movement in. Sugar and alcohol. Alcohol is a big one. I don't know if you're a drinker or not, but alcohol literally destroys any athletic progress. There's a podcast by Andrew Huberman that I reference all the time, and it literally changed the direction of my thoughts on alcohol. I used to be under the impression that a few drinks a week is probably going to be okay, but even
Mhm.
in that amount, like it just trashes your sleep. And if you trash your sleep, like you better have a really good reason to do it. Otherwise, you're literally just destroying any progress that you decide to try to progress on. Sugar, inflammation go hand in hand, water retention, all that kind of stuff. A lot of just being totally honest, this next 28 days is like how much body fat can you literally lose in 28 days? Maybe if you really have a good month and you can lose 2 pounds, 2 pounds a week. That's like the top end of fat loss. You're looking at 6 to 8 pounds of body fat if you're just having an amazing month. Now, if you have more than that, like the average weight loss in this system is like 7 to 13 pounds. So the other type of weight that's being lost is like water weight and inflammation and like just extra crap that kind of we just hang on to. Reducing alcohol and sugar is a great way to eliminate just extra weight from just like water retention and other junk, along with smashing a gallon of water a day, following a diet. The diet is the macros, the stuff that we're working on. So that should be pretty built in already. And then the last one, this is as far as triaging importance, I'd probably put this towards the end, but man, is it important. You start layering cold and heat once you get some of this other stuff already dialed in, and it will crank your progress to an 11. I swear by cold exposures, I think it's one of the greatest things I ever started doing. And for the record, I started doing it in 2016 or 15, way before all these social media influencers. So I started posting some old videos like 2016, me getting in my homemade ice tub. And I was like, yeah, this is 7 years ago now, 6 years ago, whatever.
Yeah. Damn.
But yeah, so the way to attack all of these is don't stress out about doing them all. I would pick out 2 or 3 for the first week, 2 or 3 for the second week, 3 maybe for the third week, and then try to cash them out, all of them on the last week. And if you do that and just layer things like that, then you're going to have really good success. And I've done some other programs and it's got 10 things that need to be done and they all have to be done every day or you start back at zero. And it gets frustrating because I don't know anybody that actually gets through it like and doesn't want. So being realistic about what we can do in a day, like I can hammer 2 or 3 of these every day for sure. And if I am consistent and I create the habit of getting to bed on time, getting up out of bed in the heroic minute, and then I get 10 minutes of meditation and then work out. Okay, so I just did 4. Some of these you might already do. If you're already working out or you're already like drinking a gallon of water, then we don't need to develop that habit. You just keep doing it. So the idea is take a week, develop it, get it cemented into your routine, and then add more to it the next week. So we're not overloading the system and like basically setting ourselves up for failure.
So
So
is this 28 days, 2 workouts a day, 28 days or
yeah, that's the
okay.
idea.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But I, again, keep in mind, like one workout is just movement. It's not even really, I don't want to say I wouldn't consider it a workout, but it's nothing like world ending.
Yeah.
It's just get movement in. I set my watch and I hit the timer and I'll go for a walk. I'll go 5 minutes out, 5 minutes back with the dogs. That's a workout. Like I said, nothing too drastic. We just layer. It's all about layering, like layer. So at the end of a month, you're like, dude, I feel like a new person. And it's only been
Hmm.
20 days. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it, man. And so pick 2 or 3 of these habits, get into the nutrition stuff, and then get into the workouts. And then that's that. And then we'll check in again next week. If you got any problems, let me know. You can text me, you can message me through the apps, whatever you need.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. You got any other questions about anything?
I don't think so. Do you roll a Journey still?
Yeah.
I went there for like a little less than a year, like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Chris actually started me over there, and I would keep doing it, but I loved it. But I get off work at 5, and I work out by the airport, and I live off of DuPont, and they start
Uh-huh.
at 6:30,
Yeah.
go all the way to 8,
Yep.
and it's just I'd never be home. So I thought I remembered you from there, but
Yeah. So Nick Strom bought the place, so now it's Get a Grip, but it's in the same location and nothing's really
mm,
changed. So yeah.
cool. All right, yeah, I don't have any other questions about anything.
Okay. Cool, man. We'll get after it this week and let me know what you need in the meantime.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No problem, man.
All right, see you.
Later.